University. Congratulations, Taylor. And last, our last graduate is Ms. Caitlin Wallace. Caitlin is graduating with very high honors. She is a member of the National Honor Society, and she is committed to play softball at Eastern Kentucky University, where she will major in sports and exercise science. Congratulations, Caitlin. How about a round of applause for all of our special graduates? Congratulations, ladies.
At this time, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to take a special moment to recognize a special group of officials who are celebrating their 25 years of officiating high school sports in the state of West Virginia. Presenting Richard Lowe. Thank you for your service, Richard. Danny Mitchell. Gary Courtney. Thank you, Gary. you, Ricky. And once again, thank you, gentlemen, for your 25 years of service and officiating great sport of softball.
Welcome you to South Charleston, West Virginia for the 2023 Class AAA Girls Softball Tournament and the championship round between Cabell Midland and John Marshall. So here's the situation. John Marshall is in the winner's bracket, and Cabell Midland, after a loss, has fought their way out of the loser's bracket to meet John Marshall. So Cabell Midland needs to beat John Marshall twice to become 2023 Class AAA Girls State Softball Champion. And for John Marshall, they need just the one win. So we think we're going to have an outstanding game here this afternoon as John Marshall, coached by Ed West, and Cabell Midland, coached by Herman Beckett. We think we're going to have, as I mentioned, an outstanding game. These two teams have already met. They met the very first game of this tournament, and it was won by John Marshall. John Marshall beat Cabell Midland by the score of 3-2. Then George Washington beat Jefferson 4-1. So that put Cabell Midland and Jefferson in the losers bracket, and Cabell Midland beat Jefferson by the score of 3-1. John Marshall then beat George Washington 11-2 to win the winners bracket. And then earlier today, it was a 6-3 victory by Cabell Midland over George Washington to put them in this game. So it is Cabell Midland and John Marshall. And as I stated, John Marshall, if they win this game, they are the AAA champions. And if Cabell Midland wins this game, in 30 minutes at the conclusion of this ball game, we would play one more for all the marbles. So Cabell Midland being introduced, they will be the visiting team. Cabell Midland, of course, they'll be wearing the pinstripes, the black uniforms with the white pinstripes with the red numbers trimmed in white. And for John Marshall, they'll be wearing the white uniforms, white tops with the brown pants. So Cabell Midland, they've got state titles in 95, 97, 99, and 2000, also 2005, and then had a little drought. And then they won it 2 years ago in 2021. So 6 state girls softball titles for Cabell Midland. For John Marshall, they won it in 1998 and then their last title in 2012. So they've had quite a drought there. It's Cabell Midland, it's John Marshall. We're going to go ahead and take our first break, then we'll come back and we'll have softball as you are watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament, streaming live here on Video Productions.
Number 20.
You wear it every day, so let's make your smile a priority.
Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today by calling 304-965-6661. Elk Family Dentistry, making your life better with a beautiful smile.
And we are ready to play for the Class AAA Girls State Softball Championship between Cabell Midland and John Marshall. And it'll be Cabell Midland will bat first. So let's take a look at John Marshall defensively. For John Marshall, in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Tucker in left, Ward in center, and Miller in right. Around the horn, third to first, Yoho at third, Blake the shortstop, White the second baseman, and Cumberledge is at first base. And the battery is Pettit and Inkland for John Marshall. So Cabell Midland, the first three batters up will be Purdue, Conrad, and Wallace for the Lady Knights of Cabell Midland. Cabell Midland coached by Herman Beckett, and John Marshall, they are coached by Ed West. And we're moments away from getting this game underway. Like I said, Cabell Midland has got to beat John Marshall twice, but you don't think about that. You just got to think about winning this game and trying to get to the showdown game. So both teams are lined up across their respective baselines as Cabell Midland will occupy the third base dugout. Of course, obviously, John Marshall now with the first base dugout, as the managers will meet at home plate with the umpires and go over a few ground rules, exchange the lineup, and we're moments away from getting the ball game underway. It's a beautiful afternoon here at the Rock, as they call it here in South Charleston, and it's been great weather for these 2 days of this 2023 Girls State High School Softball Tournament. Got a little breeze, and that's what we like. It's not real hot, but the weather is great, and I think it's been perfect for the fans, the players, and definitely for the broadcaster. So we're just about a minute or so away from getting this underway. And we think we're going to have quite a game. If it was anything like the one they already played, which Cabell Midland led in that game 2-0, and John Marshall rallied. They tied the game at 2. In fact, the game was tied at 2 going into the 7th inning, and John Marshall was able to push a run across at the top of the 7th to beat Cabell Midland in the first game of this tournament yesterday morning. And they won that 3-2. So now they're back here meeting for the state title, and like I said, if John Marshall wins, they are the champions. If Cabell Midland wins, then we'll have a redo, and we'll play another game, which would be Game 7. And in my opinion, that's the best 2 words in sports, Game 7. But right now, this is the 6th game of this Class AAA tournament, and the 4 umpires are now breaking it up as they've spoke with both managers, Herman Beckett, the manager of Cabell Midland, and Ed West, the manager of John Marshall, and we'll be ready to play here momentarily. There's also another ball game going on the field to our left, and I think maybe that might be a little bit of holdup. Maybe they want to start them both at the same time. They have the Class Single A title game going on, like I said, about 20 feet to our left, and then up the road a little ways on a third field will be the Class AA title game, which are taking place all here this afternoon. So we're just waiting to see. I think that's what we're waiting on. Once again, this beautiful ballpark, all turf, outfield, infield. There's not a lot of foul room. In fact, this is a really great playing facility, and there's not a lot of room behind home plate to the backstop. So a lot of times if the ball gets by the catcher there, unless the ball gets away off to the right or the left, it's really maybe difficult to take another base. But through the first 5 games that we've had thus far of this AAA division, we have not had a home run, which kind of surprises me over the last couple of years, that which I've called girls softball. We've had multiple home runs in games, but we've had a little bit of everything. But we haven't had that. We have not had a ball to leave the park in fair ground. So will we see it in this game? Who knows? So it'll be Cabell Midland and John Marshall for the second time. As like I mentioned yesterday morning, a 3-2 victory for John Marshall. And both teams are continue to line up, and I do believe that they are waiting for the game. They're introducing players to the other field, and I think that's what they're waiting on. So we'll go ahead and take a break and come back. When we do come back, we'll have the start of this game as you're watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament here on Video Productions.
13.
And we welcome you back to the Rock here at South Charleston, and we are moments away of getting the game started. We're told 2:15 local time. It's already past that. It's 2:21. So there are the teams now headed to the respective dugouts, and we are moments away from getting the ball game started. So John Marshall will take the field. They are the home team in this game. And John Marshall, as I mentioned, just needs to win one game. Cabell Midland needs to win two. It'll be Purdue, Conrad, and Wallace, the first three batters up. Purdue, the Cabell Midland left fielder. Conrad, the Cabell Midland shortstop. And Wallace, the center fielder. So it'll be Pettit on the mound for John Marshall, as now they have taken the field. And we're just a couple minutes away from starting this game. Once again, it's beautiful afternoon here at the Rock here in South Charleston, West Virginia. Pettit going through her warm-ups. John Marshall with 2 state championships in girls softball, 1998 and 2012. So a win here in either this game or the next one for John Marshall will bring them a title, and it's been a little drought, like I said, since 2012, since the last time that John Marshall's won a girls softball title. Class AAA, and being told that coming soon, if I think it'll be next year, they'll be going to 4 classes like what they've already done in boys and girls basketball. So they'll have from single A to double A to AAA to 4A, and that's coming. All right, there's the throw down to second. We're ready to go, as it'll be Purdue who will step in for Cabell Midland to lead things off. Purdue, Conrad, and Wallace, the first 3 hitters for Cabell Midland here in the top half of the first inning. So Addison Purdue will step into the box, and we are ready to go. Pettit's ready on the mound. Checks her wristband. And the first pitch of the game, and that will miss for ball 1. 1-0 the count. So 1 ball, no strikes to Addison Purdue. Pettit ready on the mound for John Marshall, and the 1-0 pitch. And it's a laid down bunt, going to be a tough play for the third baseman. She scoops it up, and not in time. I knew it was going to be a tough play, and that's an infield hit, and Purdue is on. So the leadoff hitter is on with just a little infield hit. And now Conrad will be the hitter. Conrad, the Cabell Midland shortstop. She looks down and getting instructions from the third base coach, which is the head coach, the manager of the ball club, Herman Beckett. And now it'll be Becca Conrad with a runner at first. And here's the pitch. That's swung on and fouled back out of play. The count goes to 0-1. 0-1 to Conrad. Purdue on it first. She led off the game with that infield bunt, infield hit as a result of the bunt. Here comes the 0-1 delivery. Pettit ready, rocks and deals, and squared to bunt. And that's going to be high, and the count will even at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Conrad. Conrad back in the box. Pettit ready. And here comes the 1-1. And that's a called strike. The count goes to 1-2. So 1-2 the count. Pettit ready, rocks, deals the 1-2, swung on, this ball's hit out into left field. That's going to get down into the gap. It'll go all the way to the wall, and that'll be Purdue rounding third, heading for home. Here comes the relay. They won't go to third. Beg your pardon, they won't go to home. They'll go to third, and that'll be a triple for Conrad and a 1-0 Cabell Midland lead here in the first inning. An RBI triple by Becca Conrad will score Purdue, and Cabell Midland strikes first, 1-0 on back-to-back hits. An infield hit and now a triple, and that'll bring Wallace to the dish. Wallace, the center fielder for Cabell Midland. And here's Pettit with the pitch, and that'll be out of the strike zone, a little high for ball 1. So Cabell Midland striking first. They get a little bunt, infield single, and then a RBI triple by Conrad to give Cabell Midland a 1-0 lead. Here's the pitch, squaring to bunt, and that's foul by Wallace, and the count will even at 1 ball, 1 strike. Wallace in the victory over George Washington had a spectacular play in center field. Lanky center fielder able to be able to cover a lot of ground out there, and she made a spectacular catch in that game that helped get Cabell Midland to this game. She tries to lay down a bunt, and that's foul, and the count goes 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to KK Wallace. Cabell Midland with a 1-0 lead on an RBI triple by Becca Conrad. And Pettit is ready. Checks her wristband. Rocks, deals, and delivers. And this pitch is hit down the first baseline, right to the first baseman. They'll go to the bag, and they get the out at first, but Conrad able to slide up under the tag and score, and Cabell Midland's on the board with another run to take a 2-0 lead. So Wallace is the first out of the inning. Ground out to the first baseman as Cumber Ridge made the play. First unassisted, and then nice play by Conrad to slide up under the tag. And Cabell Midland leads 2-0 as Olivia Bell will now be the hitter. And Bell chops it down to third. Nice play by the third baseman across the diamond for the out. Yoho with a nice play at third over to Cumber Ridge, the first baseman, and there's 2 outs. So 2 runs in and 2 out for Cabell Midland. And this will bring up the designated hitter, Maggie Tatum. 2 spot here in the first inning. So Maggie Tatum will be the hitter.
Now batting number 22, Maggie Tatum.
And she'll bat with 2 runs in, but 2 out, nobody on. And the pitch. And that'll miss for ball 1. So Cabell Midland, a little small ball and then a big RBI triple. And they've put a couple runs across here in the top half of the first inning. And the 1-0. Swung on and fouled back, and the count will even at 1-1. Cabell Midland needs to win this to force a decisive game. If John Marshall were to win this game, then they would be the 2023 Girls Class AAA State Champion. So ball a strike, 2 out, nobody on. 2 runs in for the Cabell Midland Knights here in the top of the first inning. 1-1 pitch, and this ball's hit foul down the first baseline. 1-2 the count. Tatum back in the box now. Pettit's ready. And here's the 1-2 offering. Count will even to 2-2. If Tatum can keep the inning alive, Destiny Hale would hit next. 2-2 the count to Tatum. Pettit's ready. And rocks and deals the 2-2. And that's swung on and missed strike. Nope. The catcher not unable to hang it, or actually a foul tip. And the count will hold at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Because had the catcher dropped the ball, the base runner would have been able to run it. Maybe that's what Herman Beckett is saying to the umpire. So I guess they're going to say that it was a foul tip that the catcher did not catch. And that's what keeps Tatum alive. So it's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Maggie Tatum, the designated hitter for Cabell Midland. Pettit's ready. And here comes the 2-2. Ball's hit to the right side. It's picked up by the second baseman White over to Cumberledge to end the inning. But Cabell Midland does damage. They get 2 runs here in the top of the first inning. In the middle of the first, it's Cabell Midland 2, and it's John Marshall coming to bat. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State Tournament here on Video Productions. Inkling, you know, like you have an inkling. And we welcome you back to South Charleston as Mason Inkling will lead things off for John Marshall to be Inkling, Tucker, and Blake. As Cabell Midland puts a 2 spot up in their part of the inning, and now we're in the home half of the first inning. Once again, if Cabell Midland wins this game, 30 minutes at the conclusion of this game, we'll have one more game that will decide it all. But if John Marshall wins this game, then they are the Class AAA 2023 girls softball champion. So it'll be Inkling, Tucker, and Blake, the top 3 hitters, the catcher, the left fielder, and the shortstop for John Marshall. For Cabell Midland, defensively in the outfield from left to right, it'll be Purdue, Wallace, and McCormill. In the infield, around the horn from third to first, it'll be Harris, Conrad, Hale, and Bell. And the battery is Watts and Rose. Watts on the mound for Cabell Midland. And Mason Inkling to lead off. And there's a called strike, 0-1. Oh and 1 to the John Marshall catcher, Mason Inkling. And the pitch. That'll miss, and the count will even at 1 ball, 1 strike. One pitch. Ball 2, 2-1. So the 2-1 pitch. called strike on the corner. The count evens to 2-2. Watts on the mound for Cabell Midland. The battery of Watts and Rose. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to Mason Inkland, leading things off here in the home half of the first inning. And the 2-2 offering. Swung on and tipped foul. So Inkland able to stay alive, and we'll redo it at 2 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the 2-2 pitch. And that just misses, and the count goes full. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And Watts ready to deliver the payoff pitch. Set, ready, the 3-2 pitch on its way. Swung on. This is going to be a hit into right field. And that'll get down. That'll get all the way to the wall. Rounding first with the big turn. And it's second. And Inkland will stop at second. She'll lead off with a stand-up double. Mason Inkland on a payoff pitch. She delivers with a leadoff double for John Marshall. And Peyton Tucker will now be the hitter. So Tucker will step in. The left-hand side of the plate, the left fielder for John Marshall. Is Inkland with a leadoff double here in the home half of the first inning. And here's the pitch. And that's on the corner for a called strike. Watts ready on the mound for Cabell Midland. Tucker turns around to look like she was going to lay the bunt down. And the pitch will miss, and the count will even at 1 ball and 1 strike. So 1-1 the count to Peyton Tucker. Going on to play college ball at West Liberty. And the 1-1 pitch, he squares to bunt. It's a strike. They're going to throw down to second, but the pitcher cut it off. So the count's 1-2. So 1 ball, 2 strikes to the John Marshall left fielder, Peyton Tucker. Watts checks her wristband for Cabell Midland. Rears back, the 1-2 delivery. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's the first out of the inning. So after a leadoff double by Inkland, Tucker out on strikes. As she strikes out swinging for the first out, and Blake will now be the hitter. Ava Blake, the shortstop for John Marshall. So Blake will hit from the right-hand side of the plate. And here's the pitch. And that gets away from the catcher. That will allow Inkland to go to third. The ball popped right out of the mitt. That'll be a pass ball. And Inkland now a little closer as she makes it to third with 1 out. Counts 1-0 to Blake. Watts is ready. And here's the 1-0. Swung on. Nice play by the third baseman, a double play. What a play by Harris. That was why they call it the hot corner. That was a shot. Harris makes the catch, goes on the bag, and they double up Inkland. So at the end of 1, your score is Cabell Midland 2, John Marshall nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State High School softball tournament here on Video Productions.
For John Marshall, they had 0 runs on 1 hit, and there was no errors. The score after 1 inning of play, Cabell Midland 2.
Hi, I'm Heather, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is getting the perfect bite. It's probably not the first bite, it's the second or the third, with the juicy chicken and the delicious pickle. The bite with the pickle is it. I mean, that is like the magic combination.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the combination of the warm, soft bun against this delicious piece of chicken. The bun is just this soft little hug around the chicken that's so perfect in every bite.
And we head to the top half of the second inning. Cabell Midland with a 2-0 lead. And it will be the 6th, 7th, and 8th hitter due up for the Lady Knights here in the top of the second inning. It'll be Destiny Hale to lead things off, the second baseman. And she'll take a ball for ball one. It'll be Hale, Harris, and McCornmill that will lead off, will be the top three hitters, rather, for Cabell Midland. The leadoff hitter now, Hale. And here comes the 1-0 pitch from Pettit. That swung on and fouled back. The count evens at 1-1. So 1 ball, 1 strike to Destiny Hale, the Cabell Midland second baseman. Pettit ready. Rocks and deals the 1-1. And that ball is hit foul down the right field line. The count will go to 1-2. So 1-2 the count to Destiny Hale, to be followed by Nicole Harris, and then to be followed by Ellie McCornmill. So 1-2 the count to Hale. And here's the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That's the first out of the Cabell Midland second inning, as Hale is out on strikes. And now Nicole Harris, who made that outstanding play at third base to end the John Marshall threat back in the bottom of the first inning, will now be the hitter. And here's the pitch to Harris. And that swung on. That's a chopper to the shortstop. Blake able to pick it up, go across the diamond. That's a nice play as the shortstop, Blake, for John Marshall, makes the play for the second out of the inning. So that's 2 up and 2 down for Cabell Midland here in the top of the second inning. And the right fielder, Ellie McCornmill, will now be the hitter.
Right fielder number 21, Ellie McCormill.
And she'll bat. McCormill will with 2 out, nobody on. And the pitch. That's on the corner for a called strike, 0-1. And the pitch. Swung on, that ball is hit right in front of the plate. And she's not able to run it out. I thought for a minute it was going to be a foul ball, but it wasn't. It's in fair play. And she is out, McCormill at first. So it's 3 up, 3 down, middle of the second. It's Cabell Midland leading 2-0. You're watching live streaming coverage of the State Girls Softball Tournament here on Video Productions.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
And we're back here at the Rock at South Charleston as we head to the home half of inning number 2. Cabell Midland in front over John Marshall 2-0. And it'll be the middle of the order up for John Marshall. Number 4 hitter, 5 hitter, and 6 hitter. Pettit, Ward, and Cumberridge will be the hitters for John Marshall. As Watts gets ready on the mound for Cabell Midland, and the first pitch is swung on and fouled, 0-1. Candace Pettit, the pitcher for John Marshall, trying to help her own cause here. And right now it's a 2-0 Cabell Midland lead here in the bottom of the second inning. So Pettit's ready, and Watts delivers. And there's a called strike, count 0-2. So 0-2 the count. And here comes the 0-2 pitch swung on. This ball is pulled down the line. It's going to be foul, just foul. As that ball was pulled down the left field line by Pettit. And it probably another 6 inches the other way, that ball would have hit right on the line and would have been fair. It probably would have been at least a double. And had the ball gotten all the way into the corner, maybe even a triple. But that was, just shows you sometimes that's what sports is, a game of inches. So the count will go to 0-2 to Pettit. As Watts gets ready to deal the 0-2, and that'll bounce to the plate for ball 1. So 1-2 the count. Watts ready. Checks her wristband and deals the 0-2. That's swung on and that's hit foul. So the count will still hold at 0-2. Beg pardon, 1-2. And here comes the 1-2 offering. Swung on. This ball's hit in the air to left field. The left fielder, Purdue's up under it, makes the catch for the first out of the inning. So good job by Purdue out in left field. Able to kind of get the sun out of our eyes and haul in the fly ball. That's the first out for John Marshall here in the second inning.
Center fielder, number 23, Reese Ward.
So Ward, now the center fielder, will be the batter for John Marshall. Watts is ready. And the pitch. And that's a called strike, 0-1. Cabell Midland needing to win this game to force one more game for everything. Coming out of the loser's bracket. Yesterday morning, the first game of this tournament, John Marshall beat Cabell Midland 3-2. Cabell Midland got off to a 2-0 lead like they are now, 2-0. And John Marshall rallied as this next pitch swung on and missed. John Marshall rallied to tie the game at 2 and then pushed a run across the plate in the top of the 7th and held on to win the game 3-2. That's why John Marshall's in this position, having to win one game, and Cabell Midland needing to win 2. So 0-2 the count, and here comes the 0-2 pitch. Swung on, fouled back. The count will hold at 0-2 to Reese Ward. Watts is ready. And the 0-2 pitch. Swung on. This ball's hit in the air to center field. Center fielder Wallace with the beat on it and makes the catch for the second out of the inning. So 2 fly balls, 1 to left and now 1 to center, and 2 up and 2 down. And now it'll be A.C. Cumberridge will now be the hitter. So Cumberridge, the first baseman for John Marshall.
A.C. Cumberridge.
So Cumberridge will hit with 2 out, nobody on. There's the first 5 batters for John Marshall have been retired by Watts. 3 up, 3 down in the first. And so far, the first 2 hitters, 2 up and 2 down here in the second. There's a called strike, 0-1. And the 0-1 pitch. Swung on, that ball's hit to the shortstop. Nice big hop that time for Conrad, and Conrad able to throw the ball across to Bell for the inning. 3 up, 3 down after 2. Your score remains Cabell Midland 2, John Marshall nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State Softball Tournament here on Video Productions.
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right.
Recover.
Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Chocolate milk, the official beverage of high school sports, is brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast.
Farmers and Mechanics Insurance knows West Virginia, and we understand how much all of our high school teams and athletes mean to the communities that we have served for more than 100 years. That's why we're proud of our partnership with the West Virginia SSAC. Their commitment to teach and promote sportsmanship and citizenship is the key to future success. Protecting what matters most to you. Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies, a proud partner of the West Virginia SSAC.
As we go to the third inning, it'll be the number 9 hitter, and then back to the top of the order for 1 and 2 for Cabell Midland. It'll be Rose, the hitter. Cabell Midland with a 2-0 lead, 2 runs on a couple of hits. And Sabrina Rose to lead things off here in the top half of the third inning. And the first pitch to her will be a called strike, 0-1.
Sabrina Rose.
So Rose, Purdue, and Conrad, the scheduled 3 hitters for Cabell Midland here in inning number 3. And the 0-1. And that'll be ball 1. 1-1 to count. And here comes the 1-1. Swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-2. 1-2 to Sabrina Rose, to be followed by Addison Purdue and then Becca Conrad here at the top of the third inning. And the 1-2. Swung on and hit foul down the right field line. We've had a lot of foul balls that way. The majority of the foul balls between yesterday and the game that was already been played this morning and now into this game have all been down the right field line. For every one ball that's probably fouled down left field, there's probably been 8 to 10 fouled down the right field line. So the count will be 1 ball and 2 strikes. As Pettit rocks and deals the 1-2, swung on, that ball is chopped foul. This time down the third base line. As soon as I say all the foul balls go to the right side, now there's a foul ball to the left side. So the count will hold at 1-2 to the leadoff hitter here in the top of the third inning for Cabell Midland, the Lady Knights catcher, Sabrina Rose. Pettit is ready, checks her wristband. And she'll bring the 1-2 offering, swung on and fouled back again. Rose is battling. That's the 4th foul ball at this at-bat. So the count holds 1 ball, 2 strikes. And the 1-2 offering. Swung on. This ball is hit over the third baseman's head into left field, a base hit. That's a good piece of hitting by Rose. She fouled all 4 straight pitches and got the pitch she wanted and able to hit the ball over Yoho's head down at third into left field for a base hit. So the leadoff man's aboard with a hit to left field. That's the 3rd hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland. And we'll go back to the top of the order, and Purdue will be the hitter. She's 1 for 1, scored a run, got a single, and then scored. And she takes a called strike, 0-1. So 0-1 to Purdue. And here's the 0-1 pitch. That'll miss. Count evens at 1-1. So Purdue has a hit, a single. Conrad an RBI triple. And now a single by Rose. 3 hits for Cabell Midland. Here's the pitch. Purdue, a little drubber down the first base side, and she's out. But she does move the runner over, so it is an effective out as Rose is able to go down to second. So Purdue's the first out here in the 3rd inning for Cabell Midland. And that'll bring up Becca Conrad. Conrad had an RBI triple back in the 1st inning and also scored a run. So they make the girl go back to first base. So apparently that's not the case, that Rose does not get second. I'm not sure what the ruling is on that. So they make her go back, so she doesn't get second. So there's 1 out, and they'll put Rose back at first. And Conrad will be the hitter. Rose now tries to attempt to steal second, and she's safe. So she does get the second. She gets there maybe the hard way, but she steals second. So Rose is at second now with 1 out. So 0-1 is the count to Conrad.
That makes sense. Okay, I thought that it was interference on the guy on second.
And here's the pitch. And that will miss. Count will even, 1 ball, 1 strike. And here's the 1-1. Swung on, that's foul down the first base side. The count goes 1-2. And the pitch swung on and missed. So that will be the second out of the inning as Conrad is out on strikes. And that'll be KK Wallace will come to the dish.
Center fielder number 20, KK Wallace.
Wallace 0 for 1, grounded out to first back in the 1st inning. Cabell Midland with a runner in scoring position. And the pitch to Wallace swung on and fouled back 0-1. Cabell Midland pushed 2 runs across in the 1st inning. Conrad had a big RBI triple. That was part of that 2-run first for Cabell Midland. And now Wallace trying to deliver a 2-out hit that would play to run. And the pitch swung on, goes the opposite way. That is a fair ball, and that will get a run in as Wallace rounds second. She's on her way to third. She'll have a stand-up triple, and Cabell Midland takes a 3-0 lead. Nice piece of hitting by KK Wallace as she went with the pitch the opposite way and got it down inside the line, down the right field line for an RBI triple. Cabell Midland with a 3-0 lead, and that's the 4th hit of the ball game for the Lady Knights. And that's the 2nd triple of this game for Cabell Midland. So a 3-0 lead for Cabell Midland. We got 3 runs on 4 hits. And a big run out there at third. This ball's popped up by Bell going out to shallow right field is White to make the catch to end the inning, but Cabell Midland puts another one on the board. And in the middle of the 3rd inning, Cabell Midland leading John Marshall 3-0. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State Softball Tournament here on Video Productions.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to groceries, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar Stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar Stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
We are there for for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan is a proud partner with the West Virginia SSAC and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Doctors Joey Atkins and Michaela Gunther at Elk Family Dentistry are a proud supporter of the 2023 West Virginia High School Girls Softball Championships. At Elk Family Dentistry, they specialize in family and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today. Give them a call at 304-965-6661. That's Elk Family Dentistry, changing lives one smile at a time. All right, 3-0 the Cabell Midland lead as John Marshall comes to bat here in the bottom half of the third inning, and it'll be the bottom three. The 7, 8, 9 hitters, it'll be Yoho, White, and Finley due up for John Marshall. And the first pitch is swung on, and that's fouled back out of play, 0-1. And actually, more than out of play, it's fouled to the pitcher's mound on the field to our left. So as the pitcher in the game, in the Class single-leg game to our left, is getting ready to go on the mound, here comes a foul ball that lands right on the pitcher's mound where she's at. How about that? And like I said, I'm surprised that that doesn't happen a lot more than what I've seen it happen here in these 2 days. So 0-1 the count. This ball is hit to the shortstop. Nice big hop that time. Conrad with it makes the throw across the diamond to Bell for the first out. So it's been 7 up and 7 down for. Actually, it's not 7 up, 7 down. They got a hit, but they had a double play in there. So the minimum amount of batters that Cabell Midland Watts has faced, she has gotten out. So that's the first out of the third inning.
Number 5, Kaylee White.
So I beg your pardon for that. So Kaylee White will now be the hitter. And the pitch will be high, ball 1. Beautiful afternoon here in the Kanawha Valley, here at the Rock at South Charleston. The weather's been outstanding. Nice little breeze. And the pitch swung on. This ball was hit to the first baseman, and a nice catch. Bell, the ball doesn't even hit the ground. She's able to snag it for the second out of the inning. So that's 2 up and 2 down. And Finley will be the hitter, the number 9 hitter in the lineup.
Designated player number 2, Tori Finley.
And it'll be ball 1 to Finley. So Harris way in at third. And the pitch. And when the girls here, when they try to bunt, they're bunting for a hit. That's why Finley, because with 2 outs, you wouldn't think it would be bunting. But bunting for a hit is it's 2 balls and no strikes to Finley. But the third baseman, Harris, way in, almost even with the pitcher's mound. Yes, there's another bunt attempt, and this time it's called strike for 2 balls and 1 strike. We're in the bottom of the third. Cabell Midland has pushed another run across in the top of the third. John Marshall in a 3-0 hole. And the pitch. Swung on and missed. The count evens to 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2-2. And the 2-2 offering. And that'll miss. The count will go full at 3-2. So we got the payoff pitch coming to the designated hitter, Tori Finley. And here comes the payoff pitch. And that'll be called strike 3, and we've played 3 full innings of play. Your new score, Cabell Midland in front 3-0. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State Softball Tournament here in Video Productions.
wear it every day, so let's make your smile a priority. Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today.
And we're back here at the Rock at South Charleston. We go to the top of the fourth inning. Cabell Midland with a 3-0 lead. They got 2 in the first, and they got 1 in the third. And, of course, as I mentioned, Cabell Midland needs to win this game to force one more game for the whole enchilada. Of course, if John Marshall's rallied to win this game, which they beat Cabell Midland being down 2-0 yesterday morning and came back and won 3-2. They're down 3-0 now. But if John Marshall does rally win the game, they will be crowned the 2023 Class AAA champion. So Tatum will lead things off. It'll be the number 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up here in the fourth inning for Cabell Midland. Tatum will lead things off. And it'll be ball 1. So here's the 1-0 offering to Tatum. And that'll be a called strike. The count 1 ball, 1 strike. Tatum 0 for 1, grounded out to the second baseman to White back in the first inning. And the pitch. Swung on. This ball's hit to the third baseman, Yoho. Yoho will make the throw across the diamond for the out. So that's 1 up and 1 down. And that'll be Hale will now be the hitter. She was a strikeout victim back in the second inning.
Playing second base, number 3, Destiny Hale.
And the pitch to Hale will miss for ball 1. And the pitch. That'll miss for ball number 2. So 2 out to, actually 1 out with nobody on, and 2-0 the count to Hale. And here comes the pitch. And that's swung on and missed. The count's 2-1. So here comes the 2-1 pitch on its way, and that'll be a little high and off the plate to go 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch swung on and fouled. The count will go full now at 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Destiny Hale. With 1 out, nobody aboard here in the top half of the fourth inning, and Cabell Midland in front, 3-0. A game that Cabell Midland has to win to extend their season. And Pettit's ready. Roxon deals the payoff pitch. Swung on. This ball is hit to the second baseman. And the second baseman knocks it down, but not going to be able to make a play. And that was White that knocks it down. And we'll see how they're going to score that. Yeah, they're going to score that an E. So that'll be an E on the second baseman. And that will allow Hale to reach. So that's the first E of the ball game. And now Harris will be the hitter. She squares the bunt, misses, 0-1, fouls it back rather. Harris is 0 for 1 as she grounded to the shortstop back in the second inning. So 1 out base runner as Hale reaches on the error. And the pitch. Swung on. This ball's chopped over Yoho's head out into left field. That's a base hit. That's a good piece of hitting that time by Harris. And now Cabell Midland's got something cooking again. Runners at first and second and only 1 out. That's the 5th hit of the ball game for Cabell Midland.
Right fielder number 21, Ellie McCormill.
McCormill will now be the hitter. She's 0 for 1, grounded out to first base back in the 2nd inning. She'll hit with 2 on and 1 out. Cabell Midland trying to add to their lead. And they know no lead was safe. They had a 2-0 lead yesterday against John Marshall and ended up losing 3-2. That'll be ball 1. So when you're playing anytime, especially in postseason, when you get this far, you can never score enough. And here comes the 1-0 pitch. Mills lays down a bunt. Only 1 play, that's to first as Pettit fields it, and that's a sacrifice, and she moves the runners over. So on the sacrifice, that's the 2nd out of the inning. But Hale will go to 3rd, and Harris will go to 2nd. And that'll bring up Sabrina Rose. She's 1 for 1. Got a hit and scored back in the 3rd inning.
Sabrina Rose.
So Ducks are on the pond with runners at 3rd and 2nd and 2 out. And Rose digs in, the number 9 hitter. But that doesn't matter as she delivered the last time up and also scored out of it as well. And she takes ball 1. Looks like maybe she squared the bunt. And like I said, most times, and of course not in that last case because that was a sacrifice, but most times when the girls squared a bunt, especially with 2 out, obviously they're trying to bunt for a hit. Now there's some question. There's 2 outs. So Herman Beckett was questioning that.
But you're not supposed to go by that. They're not. It's what they got.
So here comes the 1-0 pitch to Rose. That's swung on. That ball's hit to left field. The left fielder's looking up. It's going to be over her head. And Rose delivers again. She'll knock in 2, and she'll have a stand-up double. And that'll be a RBI, 2 RBIs, as she drives in a couple with her 2nd hit of the ball game. So the number 9 spot has delivered here for Cabell Midland. A double by Rose, her 2nd hit. They've added 2 more runs on the board. And Cabell Midland now has extended their lead to 5-0. That's their 6th hit of the ball game. They got 5 runs on 6 hits. And back to the top of the order. This ball is fouled by Purdue. Purdue got a hit, scored back in the 1st, and grounded out to the first baseman in the 3rd. She's 1 for 2. But Cabell Midland have opened up a 5-0 lead and tried to force one more game against John Marshall. There's an attempted bunt, strike 2. The runner will advance down to 3rd. That's on her own, and that's a nice play by Rose. She gets into 3rd. So 0-2 the count to Purdue. 2 runs already in for Cabell Midland to add to their lead, and a 5-0 lead here in the 4th. And the pitch. And that'll miss. The count goes to 1-2. But if you're John Marshall, you really can't afford to give up too many runs, especially the way the young lady Watts has been pitching for Cabell Midland. And the pitch. That's called strike 3, but damage is done as 2 more runs cross the dish for Cabell Midland. Middle of the 4th inning, your new score, Cabell Midland 5, John Marshall nothing. You're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. 18,250 days of fueling and feeding. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. The managers who open early and close late. The cashiers who always have a smile. The bakers, sandwich artists, and cooks who keep our cravings at bay. The maintenance crew who work hard to fix problems as they arise. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
I know show host that yoo-hoo is. Like I said, I spent the summers up there. There's a bunch of yo-hos up there. For John Marshall? That's right, we are.
And we're back here at the Rock here at South Charleston as we go into the 4th inning. Cabell Midland has added to their lead. They've got 2 in the first, they added a run in the third, and they added 2 more in the top of this 4th inning. And they have taken a 5-0 lead as John Marshall comes to the dish here in the 4th inning. And we'll be back to the top of the order, the top 3 hitters. Inkland, Tucker, and Blake due up for John Marshall. But they're going to have to get busy because Cabell Midland Watts has been outstanding, as Inkland will lead things off. And this ball's hit into right field, and that's going to be a hit. And coming into second, a stand-up double. That's her second hit of the ball game, her second double. And Inkland leads the 4th, and leads the 4th inning with a double. So she's 2 for 2 in the ball game, and Tucker will be the hitter, strikeout victim back in the 1st inning.
Left fielder number 7.
Second hit of the ball game for John Marshall, and both hits are by Inkland, 2 doubles. Leading the 1st off and leading the 4th off. Here's the ball popped up, and it's going to be out of play. The count will go to 0-1. So 0-1 the count to Peyton Tucker, as Mason England leads off the bottom of the 4th inning with a double. This pitch will miss. The count will even at 1-1. And the 1-1. That'll miss for ball 2. So here comes the 2-0 pitch to Tucker. Swung on. This ball is skied into shallow left field. The left fielder comes in as she waves off the shortstop. That's a nice job by Purdue to make the catch for the first out of the 4th inning. So Purdue makes the catch for out number 1, and Blake will now be the hitter. Blake hit into a double play back in the 1st inning. Had a sharp line drive that the third baseman Harris caught and then doubled up the runner on the bag. This ball is hit into the outfield, and there's Purdue, the left fielder, over to make the catch. She does make the catch, but the center fielder, she runs into the center fielder, Wallace. Meanwhile, the runner tags, and it looks like Wallace is going to be okay, but a nice job by Purdue. Yes, Purdue, that was really the left fielder's ball. Wallace really was the left fielder's ball all the way, and I think she's going to be okay. But Purdue comes over, makes the catch for the second out of the inning, and in the meantime, Mason Inkland is able to tag and go to third. So 2 down, and they'll check with Wallace out there. As the play was developing, it looked like it was going to be a lot worse than what it actually turned out to be. There was contact, but Purdue able to hang in there and make the catch. So Pettit will try to help her own cause as she'll bat with 2 out and a runner at third. And John Marshall and Pettit in a 5-0 hole. here in the bottom of the fourth inning.
The pitcher, number 12, Cadence Pettit.
So Pettit ready, and here's the pitch. Swung on. This ball was hit down the left field line. It is carrying foul, and it'll be out of play. 0-1. Purdue has been busy down left field. She's made some outstanding plays in shallow left and in deep left. And that time that long foul ball for a long strike for Pettit. And the pitch. That'll miss, and the count's 1-1. I don't guess there's a such thing as a short strike when we talk about a long strike with a long foul ball. But the count's 1-1 to Pettit. And Watts is ready and delivers the 1-1, and that'll miss, and the count will go 2-1. And Watts is ready. And the 2-1 pitch swung on. This ball is popped up. Will it stay fair? It will not. It'll get out of play as both the catcher Rose and the third baseman Harris give a chase, but they run out of real estate. The ball's on the other side of the fence. So the count will hold at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Watts is ready. Pettit steps up. This ball's hit the left field. Purdue looks like she has a beat on it. Purdue back, and she makes the catch to end the inning. Like I said, Purdue has been very busy in left field, and that will end the fourth inning for John Marshall. At the end of 4, your score 5-0 in favor of Cabell Midland. You're watching the Class AAA Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
You wear it every day, so let's make your smile a priority. Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today by calling 304-965-6661. Elk Family Dentistry, making your life better with a beautiful smile.
Hi, I'm Heather, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is getting the perfect bite. It's probably not the first bite, it's the second or the third, with the juicy chicken and the delicious pickle. The bite with the pickle is it. I mean, that is like the magic combination.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the combination of the warm, soft bun against this delicious piece of chicken. The bun is just this soft little hug around the chicken that's so perfect in every bite.
We welcome you back to The Rock here in South Charleston. Class AAA Girls State Softball Tournament here in 2023. Cabell Midland needing to win this game to force the showdown game with John Marshall. And right now they're on their way to doing it. It's Cabell Midland with a 5-0 lead as we approach inning number 5. Cabell Midland got 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. And they've got 5 runs on 6 hits. And it'll be the number 2, 3, and 4 batters due up for the Lady Knights here the top half of the 5th inning.
Number 28, Rebecca Conrad.
Conrad will be the hitter. And she'll take a called strike 0-1. She's 1 for 2. Got an RBI triple and scored a run in the first inning, struck out in the third. And here's the 0-1. And that'll miss. The count will even at 1 ball, 1 strike. So Conrad, Wallace, and Bell, 2, 3, and 4 hitters due up here for Cabell Midland, trying to add to their 5-0 advantage. This ball is hit to the right side. It gets past the first baseman, but the second baseman there, White, the ball got past Cumberledge, but White, the second baseman, able to clean it up and get to the bag to get the out. So 1 up and 1 down for Cabell Midland here in the 5th inning. And Wallace will be the hitter.
Center fielder number 20, K.K. Wallace.
Wallace 1 for 2, grounded out to the first baseman in the first, and had a triple back in the 3rd inning. And the pitch. Swung on. This ball's hit to the second baseman, White. She was able to flip it over to the first baseman, Cumberledge, and just like that, 2 up, 2 down. So 2 outs for Cabell Midland, nobody aboard, and Bell will be the hitter.
First baseman number 8, Olivia Bell.
Bell's 0 for 2. And the pitch. Swung on. This ball's hit to center field. Center fielder turned one way and now back the other way to squeeze it. As a nice job by Ward. 3 up, 3 down. That was a quick inning. Middle of the 5th. Cabell Midland still up in front. 5-0 as we'll take a break here as you're watching the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
That half inning for Cabell.
And we welcome you back to South Charleston, and we're going to have a pitching change. Cabell Midland with a 5-0 lead, getting ready to make a pitching change. And Watts will be out. Let's see who the new pitcher is going to be. So let's see who the new pitcher is going to be. Vaughn.
Now pitching for Cabell Midland is who? Vaughn?
So Vaughn will be the new pitcher for Cabell Midland. And while we got a minute in the break, we'll tell you about the Elka Family Dentistry.
Can you make it out?
The doctors Joey Atkins and Michaela Gunther at Elka Family Dentistry are proud to support the 2023 West Virginia High School Softball Championships. Elka Family Dentistry specializes in family and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today. Give them a call, 304-965-6661. Elka Family Dentistry, changing lives one smile at a time. Also want to tell you here with the fine folks at Video Productions, you can support your local team when you advertise with Video Productions. Video Productions is West Virginia leader in providing coverage of high school sports. You can reach out to me personally, Maris Lowry. You can either call me at 304-673-8594, or you can reach me by email. That's Maris, M-A-R-I-S, Lowry 1962 at gmail.com. All right, we're going to the home half of the 5th inning. And it'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters up. Ward leads things off for John Marshall. Ball 1 the count, and Vaughn, the new pitcher, in there. The next pitch is swung on and missed. The count's 1-1. So it'll be Ward, Cumberledge, and Yoho, the first 3 batters due up for John Marshall here at the bottom of the 5th inning. Vaughn ready, and the pitch. And that's a called strike, and the count's 1-2. The first appearance of these state tournaments by Vaughn, the new Cabell Midland pitcher. And here comes the pitch. Swung on and missed, strike 3. So Ward is a strikeout victim here in the 5th inning. That's 1 down, nobody on. And A.C. Cumberledge will now be the batter.
Playing first, number 6, A.C. Cumberledge.
So Vaughn's ready to pitch. That'll miss for ball 1. If Cabell Midland hangs on and wins this game, we'll have about a 30-minute break, and then we'll play one more for the Class AAA title game. If John Marshall can rally and win the ball game, as they did yesterday, of course it was only a 2-0 score, and they rallied to win 3-2. They're down 5 now, but if they do, as this ball's hit to the third baseman, Harris picks it up, makes the throw, great play, and with Cabell Midland making plays like that, you would think it was going to be really tough for John Marshall to rally. But if they do, they'll win the state title in this game. So 2 up and 2 down as Harris makes a terrific play at third. And Carly Yoho will be the batter. Now we've got a meeting on the mound for Cabell Midland. As Yoho is 0 for 1. She grounded out to the shortstop back in the third inning.
Third base and first, I'll be watching that.
So Yoho will be the hitter with 2 out, nobody aboard. Vaughn's ready. The pitch swung on and missed. Way out in front of that one. Yoho was into the swing way before the ball ever got to the plate. And the count is 0-1. And the 0-1 delivery. That'll miss. The count will even at 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch. Swung on and missed. Once again, way out in front, Yoho on that one. And it's 1-2. So John Marshall quickly running out of outs. 2 outs, nobody on the 5th. And this ball's hit to the right side. Good job by the second baseman, Hill, to pick it up. A 1-2-3 inning. And after 5, your score remains Cabell Midland 5, John Marshall nothing. We'll go to the 6th as we're streaming live this 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament here on Video Productions.
Hi, I'm Heather, and a little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is getting the perfect bite. It's probably not the first bite, it's the second or the third, with the juicy chicken and the delicious pickle. The bite with the pickle is it. I mean, that is like the magic combination.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. A little thing I love about the Chick-fil-A chicken sandwich is the combination of the warm, soft bun against this delicious piece of chicken. The bun is just this soft little hug around the chicken that's so perfect in every bite.
And we welcome you back to South Charleston. We're at the Rock, and we're going to the 6th inning in Cabell Midland with a 5-0 lead, trying to extend their season for one more game. And if Cabell Midland hangs on and gets this win, they'll force one more game for everything, the showdown game with John Marshall. It'll be game 7, but they've still got a couple innings of work to do here, but they're in pretty good shape as of now, as Tatum will lead off, and she fouls the ball back for 0-1. So it'll be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters up for Cabell Midland here in the 6th inning at Tatum, Hell, and Harris. Tatum is 0 for 2, grounded out in the 1st inning, and then grounded out in the 4th inning. Grounded out to 2nd in the 1st and to 3rd in the 4th. And the pitch. And that ball just kind of rolled up there, hit in front of the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike. John Marshall was down 2-0 yesterday and rallied to beat Cabell Midland 3-2. But they get themselves a little bit bigger hole here this afternoon as they're down 5-0. And this ball's fouled back by Tatum. Count goes 1-2. So there's no question John Marshall, to have a realistic chance to come back and win this game, you cannot give up any more runs. And you still got 2 at-bats. And there's no question with 2 at-bats, you still got 6 outs left, that there's no question you can get 5 runs in that time, but you can't give up any more. And if you're Cabell Midland, you can't be satisfied with a 5-0 lead. You need to add to that as Tatum swings and misses, and she strikes out for the first out of the Cabell Midland 6th inning. So there's the first out. It'll be Hale, the hitter. She struck out the second and reached on an E and scored back in the 4th. So she's 0 for 2. And the pitch swung on. That's sliced foul over the first base dugout into the parking lot, where I did not park my car. At least I did park it in the parking lot, but not down the first baseline, thankfully. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Hale. And it swung on. It's hit to the shortstop. That is Blake, able to make the throw across the diamond for the out. So that's 2 up and 2 down. And Harris will now be the hitter. Harris is 1 for 2. Grounded out in the second, got a hit and scored back in the 4th.
Playing third base, double zero, Nicole Harris.
And Harris has been very nifty in the field with the glove. And the first pitch to her swung on and fouled back, 0-1. So if you're looking ahead to the bottom half of the 6th inning for John Marshall, they'll have the 8-hitter, 9th-hitter, and then back to the top of the order. But they've only managed 2 hits here in this game, both by Mason Inkland. But first of all, they've got to get Harris out and get in the dugout. And in this top of the 6th. So 2 out, nobody aboard. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nicole Harris. And here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that's strike 2. It's kind of a half-hearted swing there by Harris. Kind of looked like maybe she was trying to hold up, but she went around, and the count goes to 1-2. So Pettit ready to deliver the 1-2 pitch. And here it comes. And that's hit foul down the third baseline. So we'll do it again at 1-2. And the 1-2. Swung on once again, fouled. And fouled down the third baseline. So we'll do it again at 1-2. And here it comes. Swung on and missed, strike 3. That'll end the inning as we will go to the bottom of the 6th inning. Cabell Midland in front of John Marshall, 5-0, streaming live this 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
Little General Stores has been serving West Virginia communities for almost 5 decades. That's nearly 50 years of providing those essential needs for your daily journey. We are so grateful to be a small part of your lives, and we want to recognize the integral part of our operation, the LG family. We know these last couple years haven't been easy, but with every sunrise and sunset, you keep us going. To the LG family, the moms, dads, sisters, brothers, sons, and daughters of West Virginia, thank you.
And we're back here at the Rock at South Charleston as we're going to the home half of the 6th inning. Cabell Midland in front, 5-0. Cabell Midland got 2 in the first, 1 in the third, and 2 in the fourth. John Marshall has only been held to 2 hits, and they've both been by Mason England. And she's due up third in this inning. It'll be the number 8 and 9 hitter, and then back to the top of the order with England. So right now, 5 runs on 6 hits for Cabell Midland. No runs, 2 hits, and an error for John Marshall. And it'll be the number 8 hitter, White, followed by the number 9 hitter, Finley. And then, as I mentioned, England, the only player for John Marshall that's got a hit. And she's got both of them. And she'll be the scheduled 3rd hitter here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Vaughn in relief. This is her 2nd inning of work, and she starts White off with a called strike 0-1. So 0-1 the count to Kaylee White. The John Marshall second baseman, Vaughn ready. The 0-1 offering swung on and missed, strike 2. And you want to think, should Cabell Midland win this game, how much, if any, momentum will carry over to the showdown game as that ball will be short of the plate and the count is 2-2. How much, if any, would the momentum carry over to the winner-take-all in the next game? But John Marshall's not done yet. They still got a chance. And this ball is fouled at the plate. But when you're down here in the late innings, you got to get base runners. And like I said, only 2 hits here this afternoon in this game for John Marshall, both by their leadoff hitter, the catcher, Mason England. So it's 2-2 to White. And Vaughn's ready in the pitch. Swung on. This is a little chopper. Nice play by Vaughn. She makes the play, sticks the big glove out there, and flips it over to Bell, the first baseman, for the first out in the John Marshall 6th inning. So 1 out, nobody on. And Finley, the designated hitter, will be the batter. Our only other time at the dish, and actually we're going to have a different batter, a pinch hitter. And let's see who we got. Carly Kaiser will be the hitter. She will hit for Finley. So it'll be Carly Kaiser. So Kaiser in for Finley in the designated hitter spot. And she'll bat with 1 out and nobody on. Vaughn is ready and the pitch. And that's low for ball 1. And the pitch. That's off the plate, and it'll go to 2-0.
I wonder if she's going to stay in the game. The designated player.
And the pitch. Swung on. This ball is a chopper, and it'll be foul. And lucky for Harris. And Harris is a very good defensive player, but she probably would not have had to play had that ball would have stayed fair because it wasn't hit very hard. And by the time she was able to get to it, Kaiser was pretty much already at first base. But for Cabell Midland and for Harris, luckily the ball went foul. So it's 2 balls a strike to Kaiser. With 1 out, nobody on, bottom of the 6th inning. Cabell Midland trying to extend to a showdown game after this. It's Cabell Midland needing to win earlier. They beat George Washington. They need to beat John Marshall, which still, we're in the 6th inning. They got a 5-0 lead, 3-1 the count. And then if they hang on and win this game, they're going to need to beat John Marshall again. And the pitch. And that'll be ball 4. And that's what, if you're John Marshall, you're trailing in the game, you need base runners, and there's a 1-out walk. So that'll bring Mason England to the dish. And like I said, she's the only player for John Marshall to get a hit in this game. She's got 2 hits. She got a double in the 1st inning and a double in the 4th inning. She's 2 for 2. Now we've got time called by Ed West, the John Marshall coach. probably going to have a courtesy runner. So we will have a courtesy runner.
Now running at first base, number 2, Tori Finley.
So Inkland comes to the dish with 1 out and 1 on. And her team trailing 5-0. She's 2 for 2, as I mentioned, 2 doubles, 1 in the first, 1 in the fourth.
Doing catching, number 8, Mason Incline.
And the pitch to Inkland is off the plate for ball 1. Vaughn ready. This pitch is swung on, hit the second base, off the second baseman's glove, Hale into right field, and now the bases are loaded. That was a shot. That was a tough play, and we'll see how they're going to score that. If that'll be an E, and it will be an E. So it'll be first and second, rather. So, but Inkland is on for the 3rd time, and runners are at first and second. And now the batter will be Tucker. I got kind of ahead of myself there, but that was a shot. That ball was hit hard. And granted, the ball was hit right at Hale, and the ball hit right at you. It is a play you should make, especially even though the ball was hit hard. The ball was hit right at her, went off the top of her glove into right field. So that will be scored as an E, and that'll be E on the second baseman. And that will allow Inkland to get on base for the 3rd time in the game. And now we're going to have another meeting at the mound for Cabell Midland. And let's see what they elect to do here. Trying to maybe just trying to slow down some momentum that John Marshall might have. That's the one thing with baseball. In basketball, team gets a run, you can call a timeout to try to maybe stop the bleeding and kind of maybe change the momentum, and kind of like what Cabell Midland's doing here with a mound visit. And I'm sure the home plate umpire before long will go out to the mound, and he'll break it up. But now it looks like it's going to be the third base umpire that's going to go break up the party on the mound. So John Marshall has 2 runners on with 1 out. And Tucker at the plate, 0 for 2, struck out in the first and flied out in the fourth. And she'll now be the hitter.
Left fielder number 7, Peyton Tucker.
So Vaughn is ready, and here's the pitch to Tucker. And that's swung on. That ball is hit for a base hit to right field, and now the bases are loaded. That ball was not hit far enough or deep or hard enough to score anyone, so the runners will each advance a base. And that'll be the 3rd hit of the ball game for John Marshall. Now the bases are loaded with 1 out. And it'll be Blake, 0 for 2, hit into a double play in the first inning, flied out in the fourth. Ava Blake will now be the batter for John Marshall. So the bases are loaded, and the pitch. Swung on and missed, 0-1. Way out in front is Blake on that one. John Marshall got the bases loaded. They're down 5 runs. 1 out, and the pitch. And that'll miss, and the count will even at 1-1. And the 1-1 pitch. That's off the plate. Count goes 2-1. So here's a big moment in this game for John Marshall for a chance maybe to get back in it. Bases loaded, only 1 out, 2-1 the count to Blake. Blake, the number 3 hitter, so John Marshall now with, the heart of their lineup coming up. Or they're into their heart of their lineup, I guess you could say now, as they got the bases loaded, the number 3 hitter up in Blake. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. That's swung on. That's a base hit into right field. In fact, that might be more than a base hit. That'll get all the way to the wall. 1 run in, 2 runs in, and it's going to be a triple. And they call her out. She got a triple. She came off the bag, and then she's out. 3 runs will score, but that will be the second out of the inning. On the slide, Blake was on the bag and thought she was safe and apparently came off the bag and then was tagged. But still, she drives in 3. And John Marshall has climbed back into this ball game. So that'll go as a triple and then out at third as she came off the bag. So 3 runs now on 4 hits. And what a big out that was at third base with 2 out, nobody on now, and Pettit will be the hitter. That's a very big play in this game. And this ball way out in front is Pettit, and she hits a foul ball onto the other field, 0-1. So a bases clearing triple by Blake. That drives in 3 runs and gets John Marshall within 2. And then as she came into third, she was originally safe and then came off the bag and then tagged out. A huge play in this game. So the count's 1 ball, 1 strike. Vaughn, very delivered here now. John Marshall has clawed back into it and the pitch. And that'll miss. It'll be 2-1. But John Marshall rallied back yesterday and beat Cabell Midland. They were down 2-0. They rallied to win the game 3-2. They were down 5-0. Now they've rallied with 3 here in the 6th. And the pitch. And that'll miss. But right now, no play bigger than Blake after she hit the triple and was safe at third and then came off the bag and then tagged out. So 3-1 the count to Pettit, and here comes the pitch. And that'll be a called strike, so the count will go full at 3-2. We're in the bottom of the 6th inning. And what now is a 5-3 game in favor of Cabell Midland. It was a 5-0 lead when we started this inning. And here comes the payoff pitch. Swung on. This ball's chopped to the third baseman Harris. Nice glove. Makes the throw. Got her. That's a beautiful play by the third baseman Harris. But John Marshall does climb back in it. They get 3 runs and will go to the 7th. It's a 2-run lead for Cabell Midland, 5-3. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls State Softball Tournament here on Video Productions.
It doesn't matter if you're playing hard or working hard. Your workout only works out if you recover right.
Recover.
Chocolate milk helps you recover for what comes next. It's delicious and contains the right mix of protein and carbs to help refuel exhausted muscles.
Ready? Recover. Repeat. Chocolate milk, the official beverage of high school sports, is brought to you by the American Dairy Association Mideast.
Farmers and Mechanics Insurance knows West Virginia, and we understand how much all of our high school teams and athletes mean to the communities that we have served for more than 100 years. That's why we're proud of our partnership with the West Virginia SSAC. Their commitment to teach and promote sportsmanship and citizenship is the key to future success. Protecting what matters most to you. Farmers and Mechanics Insurance Companies, a proud partner of the West Virginia SSAC.
And we're going to the 7th inning, what's turned out to be a very exciting ball game, as Cabell Midland has led the entire way, but John Marshall's cut into that lead now with a 3-run 6th, so we'll go to the 7th inning. And a 5-3 lead, and leading things off for Cabell Midland will be, let's see who will lead things off. McCornmill will lead things off. It'll be the number 8, 9, and 1 hitter for Cabell Midland here at the top of the 7th inning. So McCornmill And it's 2-0. McCornmill, Rose, and Purdue, the scheduled 3 hitters here in the top of the 7th. And a 5-3 lead for Cabell Midland. And that ball's fouled back, and the count will go to 2-1.
What inning they in over there? 6.
I don't know if it's top or bottom.
And here comes the 2-1. And that would be a called strike, and the count evens at 2-2. The Cabell Midland got 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth for their 5 runs. And John Marshall with a 3 spot in the 6th inning, and they've made it 5-3. And gets them a little closer if they can hold Cabell Midland here in the top of the 7th for a chance at a rally when we go to the bottom of the 7th. If Cabell Midland hangs on, we'll force one more game, about 30 minutes at the conclusion of this one. And if John Marshall is able to rally, then they will be crowned the 2023 Class AAA Girls State Softball Champion. And there's a leadoff walk. And something, if you're John Marshall, what you didn't want to do is have Cabell Midland have more base runners. So it'll be Sabrina Rose will be the hitter. She's 2 for 2 with a single in the 3rd and a double in the 4th.
The catcher, number 26, Sabrina Rose.
So Rose 2 for 2. Living up to the namesake like Pete Rose as far as the bat's concerned, and she squares the bunt trying to move the runner over, and she'll take a called strike 0-1. So right now, Cabell Midland trying to get an insurance run and trying to move the runner over with a sacrifice. There's 0-1 the count to Rose. Cumberledge coming way in at first. And now Cabell Midland wants time. As the third base coach, the head coach Herman Beckett, walks down the line to talk to his player of what he wants Rose to do. Sabrina Rose, 2 for 2 thus far. She squares to bunt. Pettit very deliberate. And now she pulls back and swings away and fouls it out of play. So the count's 0-2. Pettit ready. And here comes the 0-2 pitch. And that's a strike. The runner takes off the throw down to second. They got her. Caught stealing for the first out. So there's the first out of the 7th inning. Second out. Strike him out, throw him out. Beg your pardon. So 2 down.
Number 15.
We'll go back to the top of the order.
Addison Purdue.
And Purdue will be the hitter. Takes ball 1. Purdue got a hit and scored in the first, grounded out in the 3rd, and struck out in the 4th. So she's 1 for 3. As she comes to the dish with 2 out, nobody on here in the top of the 7th inning. And the pitch swung on and chopped foul down the first base line. So that was a nifty double play, strike them out, throw them out. Looking ahead to John Marshall, in the bottom of the 7th, they'll have 5, 6, and 7 hitters due up. Ward, Cumberledge, and Yoho will be the scheduled hitters for John Marshall in the bottom of the 7th inning. So here comes the 2-1 pitch to Purdue. And that will miss and make it 3-1. Not sure what the home plate umpire, he had pointed down to the third base umpire. Now the count's 2-2. instead of 3-1, I beg your pardon. 2 balls and 2 strikes. And the 2-2. Swung on and chopped foul right over the Cabell Midland dugout. So the count will hold at 2-2. And the 2-2 pitch. And that misses, and the count's full at 3-2. So 3 balls, 2 strikes to Purdue. And Conrad waiting to hit next if Purdue can keep the inning alive. And here comes the payoff pitch, and that's swung on. That ball's hit to the second baseman on a big hop. Shovels over to first. Good job by White over to Cumberledge, and that will end the Cabell Midland 7th inning. So we'll go to the bottom of the 7th. Cabell Midland 3 outs away from extending another game. It's 5-3 Cabell Midland. You're watching live streaming coverage of the 2023 Girls State High School Softball Tournament here on Video Productions.
No matter what it is you need, you'll find it at your local Par-Mar store. From gas to grocery, snacks, and everything else you always seem to run out of, Par-Mar stores has it. Need more savings? Download the Par-Mar app and sign up for the Par-Mar Rewards Card. You won't only see our stores in your neighborhoods, you'll see us in your neighborhoods too. We are proud to be in your town and proud to be a part of the community. Come see us at Par-Mar stores, and remember, if there's not a Par-Mar store near you now, there will be soon.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
The Health Plan is a proud partner with the West Virginia SSAC and has been your most trusted carrier for over 40 years. Log on to healthplan.org for more information.
We are there for you, to care for you at the health plan. We are here for you.
Welcome you back as we go to the bottom of the 7th inning, and it's a 5-3 Cabell Midland lead. So John Marshall, if they were to win the state title, they'll have to walk it off at least get 2 runs and force it. But anyway, however, if they're to win it, they need to walk it off, whether it be here or extra innings. And for Cabell Midland, they are 3 outs away from extending their season to 1 more game. And if we have 1 more game, we'll have it for you right here on Video Productions in about 30 minutes at the conclusion of this one. So as we look ahead here to the bottom half of this inning, it'll be the 5th, 6th, and 7th hitters up. And Ward will lead things off. She's 0 for 2, flied out to center field in the 2nd inning and struck out in the 5th. And the pitch from Vaughn is ball 1. So John Marshall, you got to have a base runner, so at least you can get the tying run to the plate. Vaughn is set, ready, and the pitch. And that'll miss for ball 2. So 2-0 the count. And the 2-0 pitch. And that's outside for ball 3. So Vaughn in relief of Watts, trying to close this down for Cabell Midland and get them to 1 more game for a chance to win the 2023 Girls State Softball title. The 3-0 pitch. And that'll be called a strike at 3-1. The 3-1 pitch. This ball is hit into left field. Purdue will come in up under it, makes the catch. She's done a fine job out there at left field as Purdue able to make the play, and that's the first out of the 7th inning. So Ward is retired, and that'll bring Cumberledge to the plate.
Playing first base, number 6, AC Cumberledge.
So Cumberledge will hit with 1 out, nobody on, and the pitch. Swung on and missed, way out in front, 0-1. And the pitch. That's outside and counts 1 ball, 1 strike. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. And that's swung on and a foul tip at the plate. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2. And that'll miss and even the count of 2-2. Vaughn is ready and deals the 2-2. And that's swung on and missed, strike 3. So John Marshall down to their final out. And Cabell Midland an out away from forcing 1 more game. And it'll be Carly Yoho. 0 for 2 in the ball game.
Playing third, number 24, Carly Yoho.
And the pitch. That'll miss for ball 1. So as I'm told, we'll have about a 30-minute break in between games if it's needed. And if Cabell Midland gets 1 more out, it'll be needed. Five runs on 6 hits for Cabell Midland. 3 runs on 4 hits for John Marshall. And the pitch swung on and missed. So the count's 1 ball, 1 strike to Carly Yoho. And the pitch. And they said that ball hit her. I thought the ball bounced and hit her, but apparently it hit her first.
No, it still counts.
So the tying run will come to the plate. And White will now be the hitter. And the pitch. And that will miss for ball 1. So John Marshall still alive. Tying run at the plate here in White. There's ball 2, the throw down to first, trying to pick her off. And, you know, you think for Cabell Midland, you wouldn't worry about the base runner. You just want to get the batter out. And the 2-0 delivery. And that's ball 3. So Cabell Midland just a ball away from putting John Marshall in a position to have the tying run on and the winning run coming to the plate. And the pitch. There's a called strike at 3-1. And the 3-1 pitch. Swung on. This ball's a little dribbler to the second baseman. Going to be tough and out. And Cabell Midland wins the ball game. Hale makes the play over to Bell, and Cabell Midland has defeated John Marshall by the score of 5-3. So we'll have 1 more game. Once again, your final score, Cabell Midland 5, John Marshall 3. We'll take a break, a quick wrap-up, as you're watching live streaming coverage of the Girls State Softball Tournament on Video Productions.
Cabell Midland 5, John Marshall 3. We will be playing another game in about 30 minutes on field A between Cabell Midland and John Marshall.
every day, so let's make your smile a priority. Dr. Joey Atkins and the friendly staff at Elk Family Dentistry are here to help you have a smile you can be proud of. Dr. Atkins treats patients of all ages for preventative and cosmetic dentistry. Make your appointment today by calling 304-965-6661.
So we're looking, about 4. We welcome you back as we wrap this one up as Cabell Midland wins the ball game. They defeat John Marshall 5-3. Cabell Midland got 2 in the first, 1 in the third, 2 in the fourth for their 5 runs. John Marshall got 3 in the sixth. The big play was on that 3-run sixth. They hit a triple, and the young lady slid in and then came off the bag and was tagged out, and that was obviously a huge play in the game. So Cabell Midland wins 5-3. 5 runs, 6 hits, an error against 3 runs, 4 hits, and an error for John Marshall. So in about a half an hour, we'll have one more game. They'll play it'll be the 7th game of this tournament, and that will decide who wins the 2023 class AAA girls softball tournament. So we'll talk to you in about a half an hour. For our entire crew here at Video Productions, I'm Maris Lowry. Once again, the final score 5-3, Cabell Midland over John Marshall. We'll talk to you with the deciding game here in about 30 minutes.